brothers and sisters. First and foremost, thank you all for tuning in every Saturday that you normally do. And I'm trying to build this out, to really use what I'm learning from the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan and also my own experiences to help us to begin to start understanding, more about relationships, man, because it's very important. Because if we don't get our relationships together, then our community is not going to be as strong as it needs to be. So thank you for your previous support. I would encourage you all to share this video and share the others. Go to my page. It's called How to Get the Love You Desire. Also on YouTube, it's titled How to Get the Love You Desire, Brother Willie Muhammad. Subscribe to the page and share it. Share the videos if you feel that those videos are very helpful. So let's get started. A brother contacted me. Peace, Farron. A brother contacted me via social media, and he asked if we can talk about the issue of adultery, right? And we know that adultery is when people, you're married and you violate your vows by having another affair with somebody who's not your husband or your wife. But I also understand that not everybody who's watching this video is married, right? Not everybody watching this video is married. Some people who are watching this video are they're not married, so it's dealing with cheating. And so what we want to talk about, one, as it relates to adultery and things like that, one is a very painful experience. It's a painful experience for those who experience that type of experience. And it not only impacts when we violate our law, violate our vows and break and not honor our word in relationships, it doesn't just impact those in a relationship and also those that are in a marriage. It also impacts friends and relatives of the group. Because if you know anybody who has gone through a relationship where their husband or their wife cheated on them, or their boyfriend or their girlfriend cheated on them, that begins to start affecting your relationship. Because now we begin to start wondering, I wonder if my spouse may do this. I wonder if my boyfriend may do this. I wonder if my girlfriend may do this. So it doesn't just affect those in a relationship solely. It affects everybody. If you're in the church, it begins to start affecting the church, because now people know about what's going on, and people begin to start saying, hey man, let me watch you talking to my husband. Let me watch you talking to my wife. Let me watch you talking to my girlfriend or boyfriend, or let me watch who they're talking to. Now we begin to start checking our significant others or our mates or our husbands or our wives, their phone or their social media accounts. Because what that begins to start doing, it makes us to begin to start feeling a little uneasy about our own relationship and whether or not that can happen to us, because none of us want to go through that. And also, adultery and cheating, it erodes people's trust in the whole process of relationships. People begin to start wondering, like, man, does this stuff really work? Can people really be trusted? And that's something that we can't allow to happen, because where there is no trust, you cannot have a successful relationship or a successful marriage. The other thing is this. I don't think that cheating or adultery takes place just for one singular reason. There's various reasons that cause people to begin to start committing adultery or to begin to start cheating. And these are some of the ones that I think. One, people having an unmet need or unmet needs, that plays a part. That does plays a part. Where somebody may feel like their needs are not being met in that relationship or in that marriage, so they begin to start looking outside of that marriage or that relationship to have their needs met. But this is the case. If that is so, you always have a better option than deciding to go out and cheat. Just because your needs are not being met in a relationship does not mean that you should go out and cheat on the person that you're in a relationship with. If your needs are not being met in your marriage and your relationship currently, the first thing that we need to do is have a conversation with that man or that woman who are in our life and let them know that this is what I need from you in this marriage. This is what I need from you in this relationship. Can you give it to me? And if they can't give it to us, then we need to make the decision of whether or not we want to continue in this relationship or in this marriage. That's the better thing to do than to go out and cheat and begin to be viewed as a liar or a person who can't keep their word and honor, or don't have character. So if your needs are not getting met, it leads people to go out and commit adultery or to cheat in relationships. But before you do that, you should at least have the opportunity to have another conversation with that person and let them know, listen, my needs are not being met. But also, on top of letting them know your needs are not being met, you should also explain to them how your needs can be met. But here's another thing too. You need to also see if you are meeting their needs. Because if somebody is feeling that their love tank for you is empty, then how can they give you something when you're not giving them something? What they need to have their needs met, because they have needs as well. Another reason why people end up committing adultery and cheating is that some people have just not made the decision in their minds that they're going to be faithful. Some people have really not made that decision. Some people are in marriages and in relationships still looking at, I'm going to take advantage of any opportunity that presents itself. So some people have not made their minds up. So when you enter into a relationship or you enter into a marriage, we need to ask somebody, are you willing to be committed to just me? And when you're not willing to be just committed to just me, I would appreciate it that you let me know. Instead of me finding out on the back end that you're cheating, let me know that you want to start seeing somebody else so that I can make a decision of whether I want to be with you or not. We got to have those conversations. Some people have not built the will to be strong enough to resist temptation. Temptation is real. But at some point, family, you're always going to see a brother that may be more handsome than your husband or your boyfriend. You're always going to see a woman that may be more physically attractive than your girlfriend or your wife, or may have some type of quality that your girlfriend or your wife doesn't have, right? But that doesn't mean that you go and engage in a relationship with them. You know, many of us have cars, and you're driving around in a car and you see a new car that you like. You just don't jump out your old car and say, I'm going to jump into that new car. So that's the same. I'm using that analogy. That's the same thing as well, right? Some of us have to build the strength to say, I'm going to discipline myself that I won't take advantage or I won't accept offers that somebody else is offering me, where I fall victim to temptation. And if we really, 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 really love the person that we're in, that love should help us to be able to say, I won't get involved in anything that will make me a liar to my vows in my marriage and in my relationship. The other reason why some people cheat is that some people just straight don't have the character. Some people just don't have the character to do what's right when they're by themselves. And if you know you're with somebody like that, that's why it is important that in the very beginning that we get an assessment to the best of our ability of the character of that person. Because if they were a liar before they met you, they're going to be a liar more than likely when they're in a relationship with you. If they were cheating and doing, a lot of people do this. Some of us get in relationships with people who were once in a relationship when we first started dealing with them. So if they cheated on the person that they were with during that point, and now they're in a relationship with us, what makes you think that they won't do the same? So most of the time, how things start off is how things are going to actual end. This is another thing too that causes us to get caught up in infidelity, adultery, and cheating. Some of us place ourselves in environments that make that possible, right? Some of us place ourselves, and with social media in this day and time, it's very dangerous because we can begin to start having conversations with people offline, in the inboxes, in the emails, in the texts, in the direct messages, where now we begin to start developing a emotional relationship with someone. Nobody just pops up and they just go from meeting somebody one day, then they're cheating the next day. No, emotional, before that type of adultery and cheating takes place, we begin to start being emotionally connected to someone, where we're having these conversations with somebody. And how do you know it's right? How do you know it's right? The reason that we know it's right, not how we know it's right. How do we know when we're doing something that we have no business doing? We do it in the darkness. I never forget the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan talked about how a young girl came to him when he was the minister in New York and she committed fornication. And in the Nation of Islam, when you do certain things like that, there's a consequence. There's like you get time away from the community, right? I keep fixing his tie. You get time away from the community. And the minister was is a young girl. She's a young girl. It's like, man, how do I handle that? Because he was like, man, she's young. She doesn't know about fornication. So she went to the minister went to the Mosaic Elijah Muhammad and told him about it. And the Mosaic Elijah Muhammad said, brother, don't allow that girl to put that small stuff on you. He said, ask her, where did she go when she committed that act of fornication? Did she do it in a date? Did she do it in a place where her parents could see her? Or did she go and wait till her parents were out of sight to do it? And the minister said that's what she did. But the principle of that story is when we go and we doing our dirt in the dark, that's evidence that we know what we're doing is wrong. So if we're having these side conversations with people on social media and different things, and we're deleting these messages or whatever people may do, then that's an indicator right there that the conversation that you are having is not appropriate and it needs to stop. Because if it doesn't stop, that little bit of conversation, it goes to now you're secretly meeting. And now you're expressing emotions, how much you care. When you're already in a relationship with someone, and eventually it gets to full-blown cheating and adultery. I hope y'all are understanding what I'm talking about. This is another part of why people cheat sometimes. Sometimes, brothers and sisters, sometimes people cheat because they have a low self-esteem, and they get a thrill as a man of manipulating different women, or they get a thrill as a woman as being able to have these different relationships with men. But what they're really doing is trying to feed their own lack of self-esteem, right? So we have to understand, family, that this stuff is dangerous with adultery and in cheating, because it tears away at the fiber of our communities, right? And it doesn't just impact the victims. If you are married, if a person is married and they're committing adultery, not only does it make you a liar to your wife or your husband, it makes you a liar to your children and your other relatives, because you would have to lie to them, and you would have to lie to them in order to sneak out and have these rendezvous with these other people. You would have to not only lie to your girlfriend and your boyfriend, but you would lie to friends as well. And when people are impacted by adultery and cheating, it makes them doubt. They begin to doubt themselves. They begin to develop a lack of trust. They begin to enter some places mentally dark where they begin to really begin to question some things, right? Some people may even question God because of them experiencing infidelity or cheating or adultery, which is all of the same thing. People begin to become angry and bitter. Where they begin to start judging, they begin to start saying, all men are like this. Just give them a time. You're going to see it. You're going to see what's, she said your tie is fine. So, they will begin to start doing that. I'm really realizing that I started this thing an hour early, y'all. I'm in a different time zone. But people also will begin to start constantly asking, why? Why did this happen to me? And one of the gravest things that people can do, if we fall victim and we're caught cheating, one of the things that was wrong for us to do is try to tell a person who we lied to and we have betrayed and shook their world that they need to get over it. If you forgive me, why you keep bringing this up? No, they need to keep bringing it up until they get to a place where they have healed. And in order to heal, family, one, we have to accept the fact that it happened. They cheated on us. Now we have to make a decision, right? You cannot continue to wallow in somebody cheating on you. At some point, you have to dust yourself off and say, I got to begin to start living again. Then we have to learn the lessons. Learn the lessons from it. They got me this time. They took advantage of my love. And this is the thing. It doesn't make you a bad person because you went into the relationship doing what people ask that should be done in a relationship, to trust and to give your all. You're not the bad person. They're the bad person because they took advantage of your trust and your sincere love for them, right? But this is key. Don't allow this experience to make you bitter toward love and relationships. Continue to be a soldier for love, but be a wise soldier. Learn from the mistakes. Learn from the signs that you saw that you ignored. Now, I have to keep it real on this. If you keep experiencing somebody cheating on you in all your relationships, you got to stop and ask yourself, what is it about me that I keep attracting these people, or why do they keep cheating on me? Because there can be something about how we handle ourselves that makes them feel that this is appropriate. And I tell people this, listen, don't spend your time. I think to me personally, I think it's a waste of energy to you're gonna be on guard. I'm gonna make sure he don't cheat on me, or she don't cheat on me. I'm gonna be in her cell phone. I'm gonna look at the calls that they've been making. To me personally, that's a waste of time. We can spend that time better at working on how we will respond if that happens to us. And when I say how we will respond, I'm not talking about I'm gonna go get my gun and I'm gonna kill her, or I'm gonna kill him. Like on social media, there's this brother who caught his girlfriend cheating. He bust in the hotel and he ended up getting shot. And what I noticed when that happens, you see it on these shows, a lot of times you see it with the women and with the men. They are more upset at the person who their loved one is cheating with, rather than their loved one for cheating on them. What's happening? Cuz I see some of my people coming on. So listen, don't spend your time looking for evidence trying I'm gonna catch them. No, spend your time at preparing yourself. What will my decision be? If I catch my husband or my wife cheating, if I catch my girlfriend or my boyfriend cheating, I'm going to make the decision. Will I stay and give them another opportunity, or will that be the breaking point? That's the number one person that we can control. It is ourselves. And this is the other thing. You know, when people, this is something too. Some of us spend a lot of time talking to people who are in relationships with their lover, with their husband or their wife or their boyfriend or their girlfriend might have cheated. And then that begins to start making us distrustful of the person in our lives. It's very dangerous and it's very harmful to begin to start accusing the person in your life about them cheating. That's frustrating for a person who is not cheating to be accused of cheating. So I'm just going to wrap it back up on these points. I don't believe in doing these things for a long time. We're talking about cheating and adultery, right? And I would say this. One, it's a painful experience for those who go through it. Two, it doesn't only impact the person who is cheated on. It affects families. It affects religious communities. It affects friendships, because now your friends begin to start picking sides. And it also erodes the trust that people have of one another. Then the other thing is, you know, there's not one reason why somebody cheats. There's a variety of reasons. One, it can be unmet needs in a relationship. But as I said, because some people take that and say, she's not meeting my needs, he's not meeting my needs, let me go and cheat on him. I'm not saying that. If your partner is not meeting your needs, you are obligated to sit down and talk to them and see if they can meet our needs. And if they have a desire to meet your needs. But if they don't have a desire, then we have to say, well, listen, I got to make a decision. It's not the relationship I want to be in. People cheat because some people really have not made the decision to really be faithful. They still want to say, I'm going to be in a relationship with you, but I'm going to be in a relationship with somebody else. You have to decide if you want to be in that type of relationship. Some people have not built the strength to resist temptation. And if that is the case, stop putting yourself in an environment where temptation can overcome you, right? Some people cheat out of revenge. I didn't make this last in the first time I mentioned it. Some people cheat out of revenge. Like, you done me something, you hurt me, you're not fulfilling my needs. You're not fulfilling my needs. So as a result, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go out there and get my needs fulfilled, so you can see how valuable of a person you had, right? And some people place themselves in that position. Some people cheat out of a way to stroke their own lack of self-esteem, because they feel good. It makes them feel good when they're able to conquer people. Brother said financial problems too. But you know, really, that's not an excuse for people, man. When some people say, well, I'm going to cheat on you because, like, think about that. Because a person they don't have enough money, so what, you're going to go cheat on somebody because they don't have enough money? See, this is why we have to have them discussions. And if you see people have that inclination to do it, we need to make a decision. So to say, teach on being falsely accused. Yeah, that's something. That's nerve-wracking. When you're accusing somebody who is not cheating to be cheating. And sometimes, in some cases, brothers and sisters, that can drive people to cheat. If you don't have the evidence that you can conclusively prove it, I think it's best that you just hold your tongue until you have that evidence. But don't make a person begin to have negative feelings about you, because, or don't make a person begin to start feeling like you don't trust them. Because if they feel like you don't trust me, then they also begin to start feeling like you don't love me, right? And everybody wants to be trusted by the person that they love. Also, the impact of it. Listen, if it's a brother, if you're cheating on your wife and you hang with a close-knit group of married couples, if you're cheating on your wife and and all of our wives hang together, you make it bad for those brothers who are not cheating on their wives, because now all of them begin to start talking and they're looking at their husbands like that, or vice versa with sisters, and the brothers begin to start, oh, where you going, who you talking to? See, we begin to disrupt the community and the family when we begin to do that. And we begin to start making people doubt. They begin to start questioning different things. But we have to focus on healing. How do we heal? Accept the fact that they cheated on us. We took an L on this one. But it wasn't our fault. It's their fault that they didn't see that you were really more in love with them and committed to them than they were to you. And I believe this. Everybody who messes over a good person, in the end, it comes back and it bites them in their behind. That they begin to start coming back and realize, man, you know, I had a good person, I messed over her, and I regret that. I messed over him, and I regret it. So don't wallow in this hurt. I know it hurts and we get cheated on. Suck it up, begin to start healing, and begin to start moving forward. Also, begin to learn the lessons from it. Learn the lessons from it, and we keep moving. And don't let it cause us to run away from love, where now we just have a negative view of all type of relationships. And if I have to say this, if your experiences with relationships that you continue to be cheated on, you have to look at yourself and say, what's going on? Now, if we are a cheater, and we need to do the following. I didn't mention this part. If we are the cheater, if we're the person that's out there cheating on our loved ones, we have to ask ourselves, what is it that's in me that's causing me to cheat? If we really feel like it's wrong, you know, like when the people say confession is good for the soul. I think it says confession is good for the soul, something like that. I heard a pastor say that the word that it means when it say confession, it actually means a Hebrew word that says to agree. So like when we confess, it's not just us saying, I'm a sinner, I'm doing this, I steal. But when we confess, it means that we're saying that I have come to agreement that this, whatever I was doing was not right. Some people have not come to that agreement that cheating is not right. And when you're dealing with somebody like that, how do you know when you're dealing with somebody like that? When they're always trying to come up with a justification about why somebody cheated, then that's a person that doesn't believe that cheating is wrong. So if we are the person that's out here stepping out and cheating, some of us cheat because, one, some people who cheat, they're attractive to people who are already in relationships. They're attractive to they like married men. They like married women. They like sisters who already have a boyfriend, or brothers who already have a girlfriend. Most people who are like that, they're running from something. And what are they running from? A lot of times they're running from commitment. So they want to be involved in somebody that in their minds they know will never be my boyfriend, or never be my girlfriend, or my husband, or my wife. So they want to cheat with somebody that's already in a relationship, because they know, as a way of shielding their own fear of commitment. You get my point? I hope y'all get my point. So they want to get involved with somebody that's already connected to somebody else, so that they never have to worrying about if somebody is committed to them. I hope you got that point. So family, so you know, this is it. I don't want to hold everybody long. I actually started an hour by mistake than I actually did. So I apologize for those people who always will be waiting for 6 o'clock. I'm working on this. This is a new thing. But thank you all. And let me know if you felt this. Keep it real. If you didn't think it was beneficial, let me know. My feelings won't be hurt. I will strive to be better. But thank you all, and I hope you got something from this. And if you did, let me know. And share. The alternate way you can let me know if you found this to be beneficial, share it with somebody else. So thank each and every one of you all. Peace.